This is Constantine Gambella. What if I told you that this was the man to form the Roman Empire? I know, you wouldn't believe me. But in today's video, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to try and reform the Roman Empire in Crusader Kings 3. Welcome to the new series on the channel where we will try and bring back the Roman Empire from Crusader Kings 3 all the way to Hoi 4. Now, you're probably wondering, what is Constantine's backstory? To kind of save you from the absolute torment, basically, this is if Sid the Sloth had sex with a human being. Anyhow, kick back, relax, and watch mayhem unfold before your eyes. I also gave him a little bit extra weight. Our starting trait was brave. We had brilliant strategist, organizer, and Herculean. Straight away, I went to go fabricate a claim on Galora's territories. I also got married to a 15-year-old girl. And then growing a sudden change of pubes all over my face. It was actually really good because it was just covering up the rest of my ugly ass face. And so I decided to make myself look extra thick. And with our newfound claim, it was now time for us to go to war on Galora. With our 100 prestige down the drain, Galora would stand no chance. They were just standing there, and they kind of just allowed me to attack them. Like, what? What was the general doing? Playing with Lego? So I decided to put myself as the general of this army, just so I could sit on everyone. And while I was just doing this massive roly-poly, and the numbers were going down like crazy, for our first perk, I went with Bellum Justum. And then for the next couple months, this general just kept on yeeting his army into my army, and then he just got captured. With our newfound piece of land, the goal was to become the king of Sardinia because we were ourselves Sardinian. Then Wrinkles decided to invite me to his grand tournament, and obviously I would accept it. And as we arrived in Rome, I was faced with some options. I decided to go with the wise man trait, hoping that I would get the trait. And then we were too late to arrive, and it turns out, well, I got injured. And when I arrived, my wounds were healed, and I was scarred. Nice. Then I was at war with Galora once again for my final claim to unite Cagliari under the Gambella dynasty. The war was easily won, and we had finally united our island once and for all. Our wife was finally pregnant, and my son was finally born, and oh my god, he definitely takes after me. I mean, look at the thing. And we could now finally form the Duchy of Sardinia, and we were to have another daughter, and well, I just instantly named her Pretzel. Don't question my judgment. So I decided to swear fealty to the Kingdom of Italy, as Corsica was underneath the Kingdom of Italy, and I thought it would be easier to grab Corsica and form the Kingdom of Sardinia from there. But it turns out King Louis had died, and the Kingdom of Sardinia had naturally formed itself due to inheritance. And just like that, I had been murdered. From who? Well, it was probably Corsica. As it turns out, my son had an entire claim to the Kingdom of Sardinia, and our first dynasty legacy point became available. We went down House of Warriors just to get that plus 15 knight effectiveness. Our war for the Kingdom of Sardinia had begun. Our armies plowed through Sardinia's army, and just like that, we had now formed the Kingdom of Sardinia, Corsica. I sent my daughter off to marry the High Chieftain of Ungvar. Then I was feeling a little bit stressed, but I had the chance to grab the athletic trait. And then not long after, somebody had decided to try and claim my throne, wiping out the Duke of Galora's forces. And yeah, Italy got on this action. Oh, and you thought things couldn't get worse? I developed cancer. Things got even more worse from there. I had a treatment. I lost my damn testicles. That only means one thing. I had testicular cancer. Oh, Anton, I feel so bad for you, mate. Things were looking even more bad. We lost our fight to the Italian forces, and for some reason, I still could not get over the fact that I had cancer in my balls. And before you know it, my allies were showing up from one side to the other. It was beautiful. I decided to raise my troops on my home, and they decided to land on my shores. And just like that, Corsica had capitulated. Going for our prisoners, I decided to negotiate a release for the Archon of Corsica. I asked him to, demanding his conversion and asking him to renounce his claims. Oh my god, Crumpets! No! I went to go check out my siblings, but Crumpets was dead. Franciscu was fine, but Martinez, High Chieftain's god tier, was looking like a duck. Pretzel Gambello, she was doing alright. Looks like the Herculean trait was really spread out in the family. Thank gosh. And if things couldn't get worse for Anton, turns out we were now disfigured. I mean, we were clutching on to life. I mean, inevitably, we're gonna die of cancer. But Anton, no, he could never give up because he's the son of Constantine Gambella. But there was our heir, Prince Constantine II. Now, this child would be the one to change everything. We weren't gonna get murdered, and we were for sure not gonna develop cancer. I hope. Oh, and lose our testicles. Turns out we had also had the title of Strong Arm. Apparently, you are at all times ready to throw hands, most because you know you'll win. I mean, well, I don't have the balls to do it. Okay, alright. So to recover our wonderful island, I decided to play tall, constructing walls, towers, farmlands, you name it. Francesco decided to show himself into my hall like a darling brother would. And my wounds had finally healed. No, not the cancer or my testicles growing back, but Godtier had sadly passed away. She died under serious circumstances. I hope I don't get murdered. And out of nowhere, we became malnourished, dying at the age of 39 of cancer. King Anton had actually lived a lot longer than what I thought he would, but man was fighting demons. And as soon as I'd risen to the throne, we had our own law book. Nice. And then we got smallpox. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, well, you thought cancer was enough? Nah, smallpox. If we died, I would have lost my damn mind. I could you not. Praying to Constantine's dear life, turns out our smallpox had been reduced, but oh wait, no, never mind, we survived. Good job, Constantine. We had also managed to thwart off an Italian claim on our Sardinian throne. Kind of forgot to record that little bit, but we were still dealing with Corsica as well. And let's just say those Carlings, their claims on literally the entirety of Europe will definitely come in handy. And I saw if we die, oh my god, I swear. Wow, oh my god. So yes, King Constantine II had died in a horse riding accident, and it was now time for King Pirilou. I didn't pay attention to his son, and yeah, as you can tell, we had no traits. But we're going for some territorial expansion on Napoli and Salerno. To continue our territorial gain, I decided to get an alliance with the Kingdom of Bulgaria. Then I decided to declare war on the Sardinian Emirate. Now it was finally time for us to start the actual Roman Empire run after, well, you know, a couple of hiccups. The war was very long. They had managed to siege our capital, but we were still much stronger. The dude was losing that bad. He even offered me a white peace. Coward. Chasing his army down, we would finally manage to end this long war finally. Now, my daughter would be the next one in line to take the throne. Now, I decided to marry her off to the Kingdom of Bulgaria, hoping that if they would have a children, we could finally merge. We could merge our kingdoms as one. But here's a problem, and one thing that I totally forgot about. If they're not part of your dynasty, you lose the game. And I didn't realize this till it was almost too late. It has now been about 40 years since our last civil war, and about 30 years since the last Italian claim on our throne. With the Muslim powers ever so growing power along the North African coast, I would finally decide to declare a holy war, reducing the Muslim influence and bringing the Orthodox faith to our newfound territories. With a lucky capture, the Rustamid Emirate had fallen into the hands of our kingdom. With a new sense of ambition, I would dare to try and declare war on the Salamid kingdom. But before anything like that could happen, turns out my uncle wanted to marry my daughter. That's a real uncle moment there, isn't it? And then my mother died and I got my dad's perfume. Like, what is this? Is it ashes or is it body odor? What? Oh my god. And well, I kind of forgot to record his death, but Queen Elvira had risen to the throne and she would trigger a chain of events that would not only change Europe, but would change the rest of the world forever. And with almost 100 years worth of conquest, Roma would now fall under our empire. Rome had fallen, and it would now soon be a new seat of our capital. Our territory had vast, so large that we had a claim on the Kingdom of Italy. We would now seek our revenge for the absolute annoying pain that these people caused us. Declaring war, we would now show Italy that we weren't the same Gambella dynasty when Sid the Sloth was on the throne. The war for Italy was not easy, however, losing thousands of troops, making Italy a vassal of our current Sardinian Empire. We had also finally brought the papacy's rule to an end, grabbing the rest of the Romana Duchy in Italy. With Muslim influence out of Iberia and the North African coastline, it was now finally time to hit the Muslims where it hurts, the Kingdom of Arabia. If we were to win this war, the conquest for the rest of the Middle East would go without victory. The great Emperor Constantine III would soon pass away. His son, Emperor Boson, own had risen to the throne, and learning that we had an entire claim to the Byzantine Empire. And finally, we now had the option to restore the Roman Empire. With the city back under Roman control, the Patriarchate of Rome has been properly restored as one of the episcopal sees of the Pentarchy in the Eastern Orthodox Church. If all 5 historical patriarchates are returned to the Pentarchy, the great schism between the Eastern and Western churches may finally be mended. It is clear now that no attempt to restore the broken empire of old would have been successful, as long as it was pursued by barbarous Germans or effeminate Greeks. It is only through the sacrifice of the Italian people that Rome has once again returned to its rightful place as Queen of the Cities. The Imperium Romanum stands strong once more, restored to its ancient glory under my enlightened rule, ready to spread civilization to safety and holy high of our Lord, all corners of the known world, for the Senate and people of Rome. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, we have now finally completed the Roman Empire. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for the next part of this series with Europa Universalis 4. Once again, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.